It's no secret that cyber attacks are on the rise. Many people think only corporations are targeted, but that's not true. Many people have that misconception. 85% of ransomware attacks are actually aimed directly at small and medium-sized businesses. This is devastating because 60% of those hit businesses have to close their doors within 6 months. Those are some pretty scary statistics. They really highlight why cyber insurance is not just a nice to have anymore. It's a necessity for everyone. Absolutely. Cyber insurance is like a financial safety net. It can really help you navigate the costs associated with a cyber incident. If you think about it, you wake up one morning and discover that your systems have been infiltrated, customer data has been compromised, and your operations have completely stopped. Without cyber insurance, recovering from a ransomware attack can cost up to $1.85 million. And most small businesses would struggle to recover from a financial blow like that. So that's where cyber insurance comes in. You're transferring some of that risk to the insurer and giving yourself a chance to recover. So let's talk about the main areas where cyber insurance can protect you. One of the first things is that it covers financial losses that come directly from a cyber incident. For example, the cost of responding to a breach. You can bring in forensic experts to investigate what happened, hire legal counsel, and notify your customers, which can be a legal requirement depending on where you do business. And I imagine the legal side of things can be pretty complex, especially with all the data protection regulations. Oh, absolutely. It's a minefield for businesses that don't have their legal teams, so that cyber insurance can help with that. Then there are the business interruption losses. Business interruption losses. What are those? They're the money you lose because a cyber attack has disrupted your operations, such as if a DDoS attack takes down your website or ransomware locks up all your systems. You're losing money because you can't operate. And those losses can be massive, especially for businesses that mostly operate online. So, cyber insurance can help cover that lost income. Yes, it's like a safety net, so you can get back on your feet and start operating again without going bankrupt. That makes a lot of sense. So it protects you financially and helps you legally and with regulations. So if your business gets hit with regulatory fines or penalties because of a data breach, a good cyber insurance policy can help cover those costs. And what if customers take legal action against your business? Your insurance can help with that too. It can cover your legal defense costs and any potential settlements. That's a huge relief, especially for small businesses that don't have in-house legal teams or the money to deal with lawsuits. It's like having a legal expert by your side and helping you navigate all those data protection laws and protect you from expensive litigation. But beyond just money and legal protection, cyber insurance can also give you access to experts who can help you respond to and recover from an incident. It's like having a specialized team on call, ready to jump in when something happens. They can help contain the breach, recover your data, and manage all the communication and reputational fallout. A cyber attack isn't just about your data and systems. It can hurt your reputation and customer trust. That's why many cyber insurance policies give you access to teams with IT specialists, legal advisors, and even PR professionals. These professionals help you manage the crisis, not just from a technical perspective, but also from a communication and brand management perspective. It's a holistic approach to incident response because recovering from an attack involves much more than fixing technical problems. It's about restoring confidence and making sure your brand doesn't suffer long-term damage. Some cyber insurance providers even offer risk management services to help you strengthen your cybersecurity. So, They'll help you prevent attacks in the first place. They might do vulnerability assessments, security audits, or even tailor employee training programs. That's like having a cybersecurity coach in your corner. They help you find weak points in your system, strengthen your defenses, and build a culture of security awareness in your organization. So, cyber insurance is clearly very useful, but it's not a one size fits all solution. Many different types of coverage address specific cyber risks. So, understanding those nuances is really important when picking a policy. Let's explore those different types of cyber insurance so we can figure out what might be the best fit for our listeners. One common type is cyber theft insurance, which covers financial losses from the theft of digital assets. So, if hackers steal money from your business bank accounts or make off with valuable intellectual property, this insurance can help you recover those losses. It's like having insurance for your digital valuables. And then there's cyber liability insurance, right? Yes. Cyber liability insurance covers damages to third parties due to a cyber incident. Third parties, like customers and partners, if they suffer harm because of a data breach that happened on your system, you could be liable for things like identity theft or financial losses. This insurance protects you from the legal and financial fallout of a breach affecting others. And then there's cyber extortion or ransomware insurance, which has become really important over the last few years. That's the one that deals with those attacks where they lock up your data and demand a ransom, right? And even if you pay the ransom, there's no guarantee you'll get your data back. That's terrifying. It is. And that's why this type of insurance is so important. It covers the ransom demands, the costs of negotiating data recovery and system restoration, and any business interruption losses that result from the attack. It's a type of protection that helps businesses survive one of the worst cyber threats. Choosing the right policy really depends on your individual risk profile, which I think we'll explore in more detail later. But it's important to remember that investing in good cybersecurity can lower your insurance premiums in the long run. So it's a win. You strengthen your defenses, reduce your risk, and potentially save money on insurance. It shows insurers that you take cybersecurity seriously, which is essential to them. That makes sense. Let's talk about what affects those cyber insurance costs and what security measures insurers look for when you're applying for coverage. When insurers calculate your premium, one of the first things they look at is the size of your business and your industry. Larger businesses probably handle much more data and are more likely to be targeted. They have a broader attack surface, which makes them attractive to cybercriminals, so their premiums are higher, and industries that deal with very sensitive data, like healthcare or finance. Those industries have much stricter regulations. They face more scrutiny, so their insurance costs are usually higher too, because the impact of a breach could be much worse. It makes sense that the stakes are higher when dealing with financial records or health data. But it's not just about external factors like the industry you're in or the size of your company, right? Your internal cybersecurity practices matter too. The level of your existing cybersecurity measures can significantly impact your insurance premiums. So, if you have strong cybersecurity practices, you could pay for insurance. That's right. Insurers want to see that you're being proactive about mitigating risks. They reward businesses that take cybersecurity seriously with lower premiums. It's like a discount for being responsible. What are some of the key security measures that insurers look for? What can businesses do to strengthen their defenses and maybe even get a better rate on their cyber insurance? One of the most basic requirements is multi-factor authentication. You have to enter a code from your phone in addition to your password, which adds an extra layer of verification. So even if someone steals your password, they still can't access your systems. That seems pretty essential these days with all the phishing attacks and data breaches happening. It's a simple but effective way to reduce your risk. And then, of course, there are regular data backups. That's something everyone should be doing anyway. It's essential when it comes to cyber insurance. Insurers want to ensure you have secure off-site backups of your important data. So, even if your systems are compromised, you can still restore your data and minimize any downtime. It's all about having a plan B, a way to bounce back from a data loss incident. And I guess keeping your systems patched and updated is important too, right? It's crucial. Regularly apply security patches and software updates to close those known vulnerabilities. Otherwise, you're leaving the door open for cyber criminals. It's like fixing the holes in your armor. And then there's the human element, which is often the weakest link. People make mistakes, click on phishing links, and download malicious files. That's why employee cybersecurity training is so important. You need to educate your employees and ensure they understand the risks. Insurers want to see that your employees know how to identify and avoid phishing scams, social engineering attacks, and other common cyber threats. It's about making them part of the solution, not the problem. So, all of these practical steps can not only strengthen your cybersecurity posture, but also demonstrate to insurers that you're taking risk mitigation seriously. That can lead to lower premiums and a more secure environment for your business. It's about being proactive, not reactive, and it's about preventing threats, not just responding to them. Let's shift gears and talk about choosing the right cyber insurance policy. Working with an experienced insurance broker can be really helpful, but you also need to understand the key factors to look for when you're evaluating policies. It's about being an informed consumer. Ensure you know what you're buying and that it meets your needs. One of the most important things to consider is coverage limits. Coverage limits are the maximum amount the insurer will pay out for a covered claim. Okay, so you need to make sure those limits are high enough to cover your potential losses. If you're underinsured, you could still be left with an enormous financial burden, even if you have a policy. It's like having a life jacket that's too small. It might keep you afloat, but it won't save you in a real emergency. That's a good analogy. And then you also need to pay attention to exclusions. What are exclusions? Those are specific events or circumstances that aren't covered by the policy. Certain types of attacks or data breaches. It could be anything. You need to read those exclusions carefully and ensure you understand what's not covered. Otherwise, you might get a nasty surprise if you ever have to make a claim. And then there are also conditions for claiming validity that you need to be aware of. What does that mean? Some policies might have specific requirements for how you report an incident or what kind of cybersecurity practices you need to have in place. If you don't meet those requirements, your claim might be denied. You need to understand those conditions very clearly. It's like reading the fine print. And remember, the world of cyber threats is constantly changing, so you need to review and update your coverage regularly, like an annual checkup. As your business grows, your technology changes and new threats emerge. You need to make sure your insurance keeps up with all of that. You need to stay ahead of the curve and adapt to the evolving threat landscape. Make sure your coverage still meets your needs. Now, let's talk about the consequences of not having adequate cyber insurance protection. I think a lot of businesses don't really understand the risks. It's about understanding what's at stake, the real world impact that a cyber incident can have on your business. Let's start with the financial implications. The financial repercussions of a cyber incident, They can be crippling, especially for those smaller businesses that might not have the resources to bounce back from a major financial hit. The costs of things like incident response, recovering your data, legal fees, regulatory fines, and potential lawsuits can add up so quickly, and they can really drain your resources and jeopardize your financial stability. And a lot of small businesses operate on pretty tight margins. A six-figure bill after a ransomware attack or a data breach could be devastating. Absolutely. It could force them to close their doors. So, it really highlights why cybersecurity needs to be taken seriously. It's not just an IT issue, it's a business issue. It should be treated with the same importance as any other major business risk. Beyond the immediate financial hit, there are also long-term consequences to consider, such as how a cyber attack can disrupt your operations. That's right, cyber attacks can lead to significant business interruptions. You might have to halt your operations completely, and you can't serve your customers. You can't fulfill orders, and that loss of revenue can be incredibly damaging, especially for businesses that rely heavily on their online operations. So it's not just about the money you lose directly, it's also about the missed opportunities and the potential damage to your reputation. Speaking of reputation, news of a data breach can really erode customer trust and damage your brand image. People are much more aware of data breaches these days, and they're less likely to do business with a company that's been compromised. They'll worry about the safety of their own data and question whether you can protect their information. In the age of social media, news of a breach can spread like wildfire. It only takes one viral post to do some serious damage to your brand, and rebuilding that trust can be a long and difficult process. Absolutely. So you've got the financial losses, the business interruptions, and the reputational damage. It's like a perfect storm that can sink a business, especially one that doesn't have the resources or expertise to deal with a crisis like this. And that's where cyber insurance can really make a difference. It provides a safety net that can help you weather the storm and keep you safe. Come out stronger on the other side. It's not just about transferring the risk, it's about having a lifeline access to a team of experts and a financial backstop to help you recover. Now, even with the best cybersecurity practices, no system is 100% impenetrable. There's always a risk. Cyber criminals are constantly evolving their tactics. They're always finding new ways to exploit vulnerabilities and bypass security measures. Sometimes vulnerabilities emerge, like zero-day exploits that target weaknesses that have yet to be discovered. So it's an ongoing process. You can't just set it and forget it. You must stay vigilant, adapt to the changing threat landscape, and realize that even the most secure systems can be breached. And that's why cyber insurance is so important. It's that extra layer of protection that can help you recover if something does happen. It's a strategic investment in your business's resilience. It acknowledges that risk is a reality in today's digital world and takes steps to mitigate the potential consequences. It's about peace of mind knowing that you have that safety net in place. I want to emphasize that cyber insurance is becoming increasingly important in the business world. It's not just about protecting yourself financially, it's also about building trust with your customers and partners. It's a signal that you take cybersecurity seriously and that you're a responsible and reliable business. As cyber threats continue to evolve, investing in robust defenses and securing appropriate cyber insurance coverage will be critical for any business that wants to thrive in the digital age. It's about being prepared not just for known threats, but also for the unknown and having the confidence to navigate the digital world with resilience and agility. So remember, cybersecurity is no longer just an IT issue. It's a business imperative. By prioritizing it and investing in the right protections, you're safeguarding your business's future. So that's it for our deep dive into cyber insurance.